Jail is scary, 113-year-old writes. Scary and boring and loud. A place where no one wants to listen to you and no one cares what you think. The best thing is getting 3 meals a day, going to school, sleeping in a proper bed. The worst thing is that it's bad. Bad food, bad friends, a bad environment. He is answering the questions set by teachers at Parkville College, the school that services Victoria's 3 youth justice facilities. The answers part of a submission by the college to a parliamentary inquiry into the state's troubled youth justice sector, which has become a political hot potato in the lead up to the Victorian state election in 2018. He writes with bravado, his understanding of the legal system both sophisticated and cynical. He sounds much older than 13. The boy is housed in the Barnett unit at Parkville Detention Center, accommodating boys aged 10 to 18 and girls aged 10 to 21. Successive riots at both Parkville and Malmesbury Youth Justice Centers since October 2016 have caused a reported 10 million in damage and left several units at Parkville uninhabitable. That prompted the Andrews government to open the Grevillea unit in Barwon Maximum Security Adult Jail. A move has been challenged in the Supreme Court as a violation of the state's Human Rights Charter. This submission is the first chance the detainees have had to speak directly to the public since the trouble began. One boy, aged 14, wrote that he was moved to the Grevillea unit after 2 months in Parkville, and that it was much worse. He is speaking from experience, having been in custody since he was 12, he wrote. Another boy, also in Grevillea, said all the positive things about being in detention at Parkville were stripped away in this other place, he wrote. There are some common themes in the submission, which is comprised of 25 individual statements and 2 made on behalf of a group. No one feels they have been treated fairly by the media or by the court. Some have had good lawyers, but most struggle to contact them. When they do contact their lawyers, it can be difficult to get up-to-date information on their case, or to ensure their family knows what's going on. All were struggling under rolling lockdowns, or codes, which left them angry and feeling punished even if they had not done anything to trigger the lockdown. One detainee from the Ulabara unit in Malmesbury, adopting the sterilist language of clients and codes used by the Department of Health and Human Services, wrote. A damning report by the Victorian Commissioner for Children and Young People last month confirmed lockdowns were being used as a behavioral management tool, and not as an option of last resort. Center-wide lockdowns have been happening more frequently since the big riots in November, a number of detainees said. When that happens, the punishments such as not being able to attend school apply to all detainees. A boy from the Monash unit at Malmesbury wrote. The riots have also had a significant impact on the mental health of some detainees. Many said they benefited from seeing a psychologist, and the psychologists were banned from the center for weeks and weeks following a particularly bad riot. One 18-year-old man, who arrived in Australia as a refugee on a boat in 2013, and spent more than 2 years in immigration detention with his family, being settled in the community, said he came to Australia with a lot of trauma on me, and being in Parkville made it worse. He recounted his experiences during a riot last November, when he said inmates broke a hole through the wall into his cell and used him as a hostage to hold back the police. Most detainees had positive things to say about Parkville College, where they say the teachers listen to you, unlike teachers on the outside. According to a 17-year-old girl from the Quality Unit at Parkville, who identified herself as Aboriginal. In a group submission, the Parkville Youth Leadership Council said, "No one in detention had a good experience with schooling on the outside." The inquiry into youth justice is due to report to Parliament by 1 August.